and welcome back to my channel. As promised, I'm going to do a flip through with you with my new bullet journal. As before, this is a Leuchturm 1917 A5 dot grid. Still in black. Doesn't need to change in my opinion. I'm sticking with this for now. So I still haven't set up this cover yet. I haven't decided what sort of embellishments I might want to do, so putting off on that. And as you can see, my index is still blank too. Let's jump on in. So here we have my year at the glance. Again, because I honestly don't expect this journal to go past December, but in my first journal I really found that it was helpful for me to have 3 to 4 months past where my journal ended in the current journal, so I could see, when March 15th of 2018 will be. The green that you see here is the Tombow 228 green. I got this as a birthday present, which I'm very excited about. And this right here, I actually thought it was a green. It's not. It's another Tombow. Let's see if you can see here. It looks by the cap as if it will be green. It's in 57, so it gives you a hint it's a neutral color. And it has that nice gray undertone. So over here, I decided instead of doing 3 or 4 or however many to a page as I did in the first bullet journal, since I didn't really use that space, I just used my little stencil I once used for weeklies. I really think that's all I'll need this time. And just a second, just as a quick reminder, in the first bullet journal I had, again, this was still more to a page than most folks do, but it was just more space than I needed. So hoping that will get it covered, especially when I'm doing this sort of Calendex thing over here. It's basically just for birthdays, except, you see here I have the days that the office is closed for my job. I said birthdays and events. So far, it's really just birthdays, and that's okay with me because it makes it easier to see kind of what's going down. I think in my next bullet journal, I will probably keep having this small and just have a birthday type list chart here. And instead of starting wherever the bullet journal starts, just start in January so I can see right off. And this brings me to my Calendex for the year. I don't know if I'll use it. I did use some of my shorter Calendexes in my last journal, but I wanted to give this one a try. So far I haven't had anything to add, except I'll have something to add in July. I'm still kind of confirming dates, so I haven't been able to put that in yet. But I like the way it looks, so there's that. Kind of rough looking pages, but I wanted to go ahead and put in a sort of brain dump area for things to paint and video ideas. Yeah, I wanted to go ahead and get those labeled before I jumped into May. So I will probably do a May flip through whenever I do my June plan with me. But that is the first half of the setup. As I mentioned in the Walking to Mordor tracker video, my collections are actually in the back this time. So, as before, I kept my pen test page and actually have some family members' email addresses up there. And then I went past all the perforated pages because occasionally I tear those out and give those to people, and started with my reading tracker again. So what I did for this, I was really torn because I loved the bookcase that I did for my first journal, and it isn't complete. I added more books in at the beginning of 2017 to have room. Right here you can see, to have room for my 2017 goals. And I was torn about that, but what I ended up doing is pulling any books that I see on this one. I started writing in small numbers, the ones that I read in 2017. So I pulled those from here and put them on this one. I've also added in other books that I've finished since. I liked adding the plant this time in the little box, and I don't know, I'm excited about how this turned out. I did decide to leave this other page blank just in case I need overflow. That way I can have just like a spread of bookcases. So next up is the 2017 goals. So again, I totally should have marked this better for you, but my 2017 goals, I mentioned I actually drew out. Let's see, there you go. Should be able to see that now. I drew out things I could color off for my various resolutions or goals, and it was all horizontally designed in my original. Whenever I transferred it over to the new bullet journal, I swapped that up a little, and I like the way it gave me space down here in case I actually add something halfway through the year or whatever that I decide I really want to make sure I punch through this for this year. So I'm liking the way that is going. As you can see, I finished my 52 meditations. I am further along in miles than this, but I'm waiting until the end of the month to color those in because it gets kind of weird otherwise. So there's that. This is a new spread right here. I was using my cheap Fitbit knockoff tracker for my steps and miles, and that app had integrated with it where I could see sort of the history. It did have some quirks where it didn't always in the monthly total include every day of the month, which was frustrating when I was trying to get those totals, and a few other things like that. I did transition to a new tracker, and I'm very excited about. This is a hybrid watch from Fossil, so it's a nice old manual watch, but it also tracks my steps and a few other things. So I feel like this is much nicer for my professional work environment. I'm happier with it because I'm a manual watch person, but the app does not keep the history. So I went ahead and made this chart. So at the end of every day, when I sync the watch, I generally just take a screen cap and then input the miles the next day, so that I can total it up and see how far I've gone each month, and then eventually how far I've gone the year. And based on this data, I can color in my Walking to Mordor tracker, which from the last video you've seen is now the Lothlorien to Rauros page. Here I have it updated through the 18th. So I have a little more to add. This is exciting to me. I will be hopefully in June starting a fitness challenge, so I wanted to do just a simple layout for, you know, the date, my weight, and then measurements for various things to kind of keep track of stuff better. And then this is a new layout as well. In part for that, I wanted to play with how to lay out an exercise regimen, I suppose is the best way to say it, so that I would be sure to include rest days and, you know, not have high intensity cardio right next to leg weight workout or something like that. So all of this is still in pencil when it comes down to what's each day. That's because I've just started getting into this and I don't really know what I can handle. So I want to kind of give it a little while before I, you know, see what's realistic for me. And that's it. I mean, it was a very simple swap over, and I'm enjoying being in a new bullet journal. I don't know, it's just still nice and crisp feeling, which is great. As you will see in May, so far I am sticking to this Tombow 228 brush for most of my headers, just to give it a little consistent theme for now. Oh, I also forgot to mention that the black for this journal is in the Faber-Castell Pitt pen. Most of it is in S, which is oddly enough smaller than fine, which is weird, but most of it is in this size, and it's going pretty well. So I hope you enjoyed, and this gave you some ideas or some fun stuff, and I'll be back soon. Bye!